Hey folks, man, this is Monk, and we are back with another episode of Classics of Cinematics, man. This is a show where I join Bobby Blockbuster,
Yo.
and we talk about the films that shaped and warped our film-going experiences, man. So, today's no exception, man. Today we've got Robinhood Prince of Thieves, was released on June 14th, 1991. It had a $48 million budget. It grossed $390 million at the box office, so definitely was a certified hit.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as cast, man, it's directed by Kevin Reynolds, and we've got a cast that's pretty dope. We've got Kevin Costner, man, Alan Rickman as the sheriff of Nottingham. Kevin Costner's Robin Hood. Morgan Freeman plays Robin Hood's friend Azeem. We got Christian Slater in here. Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio and Michael Wincott and Nick Brimble as well. I think there's one more that I want to mention on here that I think, Geraldine McEwen and Michael McShane. Yo, this guy's a stack, man. I think those are the mains, that we want to highlight, man. But yeah, man, this is pretty crazy, man. So the plot goes as this: Nobleman, crusader Robin of Locksley, aka Robin Hood, breaks out of a Jerusalem prison with the help of Moorish fellow prisoner Azeem and travels back home to England. But upon arrival, he discovers his dead father in the ruins of his family estate, killed by the vicious sheriff of Nottingham. Robin and Azeem join forces with outlaws Little John and Will Scarlett to save the kingdom from the sheriff's villainy. Yeah. So I guess get talk about what we like, man. What stands out to you in this film?
For starters, two things. On a more personal note, before this film came out, my only Robin Hood experience as a little dude was the Disney cartoon.
Oh yeah, I love that though.
I love that film. That was, that was as far as my Robin Hood movie film watching went up until this point. So
I think just on a background level for the people, I think the most notable interpretation was the Errol Flynn version, and that was I think that was a silent film, when that came out.
Right.
Yeah, but other than that was probably the most definitive version that everybody, we would all see clips of, from that film.
Yeah. So for me, just having this Disney cartoon to reference, when I saw this, I mean, the serious approach that they took and the in-depth story arc that this film took, I mean, instantly pulled me in. But as a film watcher now, and as I've watched this film as an adult, not a youth, what stands out to me more than anything is the supporting cast. I mean, Kevin Costner did his job as Robin Hood, but I feel like the supporting cast is what really leveled this film up.
To be honest, this is my first time watching this, and honestly, I thought Kevin Costner was probably the weakest link in the cast. It's not like he stunk it up, but he really didn't. Like, you could have probably cast anyone in that main role at the time, but I think what it was is Kevin Costner was hot at the time.
Yeah.
He was the man in Hollywood, and definitely could probably get this project made with him being attached to it. Because there's times as I'm watching it, he breaks accent. He just sounds like a regular dude.
Yeah, right.
I mean, the accents aren't all perfect in this, but he's one of the worst offenders. But it's solid, despite him,
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, what you get from Morgan Freeman's character is solid. And I mean, even though it's the guy you love to hate, but the sheriff of Nottingham,
Rickman, this thing doesn't work without him.
Doesn't work without him, dude.
I noticed that immediately. but one thing about Morgan Freeman I thought was interesting, like he actually looks young in this, man. Even though he's old, but
even had the waves going in his hair and everything. I was like,
and then but Rickman, he kills it, man.
Yeah.
Like he plays that great bad guy. Kind of reminded me a bit of like a Scar from Lion King. He's just that treacherous, villainous. Because it's like I said, man, the king is out of town. He's on his crusade thing, which is where Robin actually was with him, but he got locked up. So then while the king is gone, Sheriff of Nottingham is just flexing his will, doing whatever he wants. Basically, I feel like ultimately he's trying to just take the king's kingdom, while he's gone. And but Robin Hood helps foil that plan, man.
Definitely. And and that's the other thing that I really like about this is like I said, when it comes to the story arc, the depth that they give us, and this attention to detail to everything else that's going on top of the the Robin Hood story that we all pretty much know enough of, be it through reading stories about it or seeing various versions of this film. The fact that they did take it a step further, that really works for me as well.
Yeah, I also like the Michael Wincott character in this, man. He's pretty much Sheriff of Nottingham's right hand goon.
Yeah.
And he's solid, dude. He,
Yeah.
he does the job. He's one of the first guys we encounter that's the extension of Nottingham's reign, when they're chasing the little boy up the tree and all that. But I also find it interesting too that he goes from this being the bad guy's sidekick to the bad guy in The Crow later. I recognize his face. I was like, dude from The Crow, man. So yeah, that's dope, man.
And one thing about him too is he just has that voice. Like, he has a very definitive voice.
Yeah,
When he starts talking, it's him. Even if you don't know him by name, you're like, man, that's that dude.
Yeah, another cast member. I did like Christian Slater in this too, man. What is he doing these days, dude? Like, he's probably on some TV show or something.
Yeah. Couple straight to streaming movies here and there.
Yeah, I like where he's at because he plays this guy that's in the struggle, but then Robin Hood comes through and kind of assumes leadership, and he's not with it, and he still bucks back at him. But eventually he comes around, and because they do have this common enemy. You know what I'm saying? So.
But there's also underlying story for why he has such a severe dislike for Robin Hood. You know what I'm saying? Which that also was something that, the creators of this film, the writers, it was nice for them to throw that element in there because it just makes it all make sense. You know what I'm saying? It makes his character a little more relatable and understanding to the viewers as to why he's acting the way he's acting out the gate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we also get Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Lady Marion. That's what they got her here, or aka Maid Marian, depending on which version of the story you're familiar with. And she was solid, dude. But like, I was this years old when I found out that she played Scarface's sister. I had no idea, dude. I'm looking because immediately I was like, and I didn't put that together. And other than that, the only other thing that I distinctly remember her being in was The Abyss. And I still couldn't. And I've seen that movie so many times, but I didn't put that together. But it's kind of weird because she's Italian, but she's playing a Cuban in Scarface. It's just like, but there was a lot of old times playing Cubans.
I was saying, one big Al doing that too.
And I think my man, the other dude, the playing Frank. But yeah, it's great, man. She's solid. She brings a lot of heart to this thing too, man. Yeah, it definitely works, man. They lucked out with the casting, man. In hindsight, I think it might have popped a little bit with someone else. Maybe if they went with somebody that was actually English or British and as the main role, but it works, man. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And then stepping away from the cast, I like what they did with the look and feel of this film, the atmosphere. It feels very relevant to the times. I mean, especially once we get to the point where he's in the woods with Sherwood Forest and everything, and meeting all of his cohorts, Little John and everybody else.
Everything looked like I would imagine it looking, you know what I'm saying, during that time, man. So there were some definitely some cool things going on with that. Just it feels like you're in this medieval, period of time, this feudal war where everything looks like it's been lived in, Yeah, I thought that was cool, man. And also just with the background of the story, man, I think it's cool that I always love, like I've probably said this a million times on here already, I love when they play with real life events. Like the Crusades, that was some real thing that was going on at this time period. And it's interesting that, you got this Morgan Freeman character who's playing a Moor, and people don't know what was going on, man. There was a time when the Moors rose out of I believe it was Northern Africa, and they were going against the the Roman Empire, man. And in some cases, they actually occupied like places in Europe, and left their influence and bloodline. There's that infamous thing in that Christian Slater movie, True Romance. What's that? I think it wasn't Christopher Walken, but he was saying it to Christopher Walken. I think what was my man name? Oh man, crazy guy
It's
from
been a while
Apocalypse
since
Now.
I've seen
You
it.
know what I'm saying? Crazy guy from Apocalypse Now. Let me see. Let me find his name. He's also the bad guy in Speed. Uh,
Oh, it's not Hoffman.
it's in here. Where is he at? I gotta look now because I brought it up. Now I gotta know. Fart. Just the wild, wacky. Yeah, Dennis Hopper.
Hopper. Yeah, see, I said Hoffman. Yeah,
Mhm.
Hopper. Yeah.
Damn,
Yep.
Hopper's dead, yo. I just seen the date. Said
Dang.
2010. Wow. He's been gone like 11 years so far. 12.
Mm.
Shizzle. Wow. But yeah, just for them playing around with the history and having that background, even though like I don't think this is the most serious interpretation of this, man. It almost feels like it's something that was made for like a younger audience, man.
Yeah.
Maybe, teenagers and on up to adults. I mean, there is some violence, but the worst of it tends to happen off screen,
Right.
or so yeah.
Yeah, to your point, it's lighthearted
Mhm.
intensity. I mean,
Mhm.
you do get your battles and you do get your fighting elements, and I mean, there's sword fights, and people are losing their lives in the
Mhm.
midst of the battle, but there's also this just lightheartedness that carries throughout the whole film. There's comic relief, and overall there's this romance element that's surrounding this film too. Once you see the
Mhm.
interaction and the banter between Robin Hood and Maid Marian, and those things too. So it's easy to lose sight or put on the back burner what we would expect from other medieval time films or
Mhm.
films in
Yeah,
this.
usually those things are just darker, they're somber, they're kind of just sad. It's like
Yeah.
some of them feel it's like work. It feels like like you're just like a not a pleasant adventure, man.
Yeah, yeah. You waiting to see somebody get smacked in the face with a mason ball.
And I think that's probably where this film probably found its audience because they were. I don't remember what the trailer looks like. We'll probably attach it to this video, but just I'm pretty sure that's probably what people responded to it. Like,
Mhm.
because one complaint I do have is I think the score is doing a lot to try to sell this at times, man. Because the music is just like,
Yeah.
like it's just like even when violence is really going on, it's happy. So
Yep.
I think it would have benefited if they had a little bit of restraint with it. I mean, there are moments where it definitely works and pulls you in, but then there's times it's like, all right, man, we get it.
And then it's like every time, Robin Hood's in Maid Marian's presence, they start flirting with the idea of playing that Bryan Adams song, Everything I Do. It's like, come on now. Once is enough.
Yeah, man. But like I said, man, other than that, man, like Rickman does a great job as a sheriff, man. He's immediately just a character you love to hate, man. And
Yes.
he's doing a lot of heavy lifting here, man. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And another cool thing about this film is I love Robin Hood Men in Tights. That is the parody spoof film.
Yeah.
But without seeing this, a lot of the little jokes that
Mhm.
happen in that film will clearly go over
Yeah.
your head. Like this Robin Hood Prince of Thieves to Men in Tights is the equivalent of Scream to Scary Movie.
Now I gotta watch Men in Tights because, like I said, this is the first time that I watched this film. So now I gotta go back and watch Men in Tights because I thought Men in Tights was hilarious,
Yeah.
even without seeing this. So now I wonder how it's gonna be now that I've got more references.
Like the little things, like for instance, Robin Hood's friend Duncan, the blind guy in Men in Tights, his name is Blinken.
Oh my
You see what I'm
God.
saying? Those are the little things that you might catch, or like even when you get introduced to Dave Chappelle's character, he says his name is I Sneeze because his father's name was I
So
Chew.
he's supposed to be Azeem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
man.
that's what, because of my love for this film, that made me love Men in Tights that much more, and it was
Mhm.
that much more funny for me because of all of the little jabby jabs they throw at this film. You know what I mean?
I do like the battles as well, man.
Yes.
Like I think they did a great job of just framing the stuff, for even for the budget that they had to work with, man. And when these things go down, it's exciting, and they've got weaponry. Because the interesting thing is his crew of thieves, they're basically people who have been outlaws. Running from the trying to get from under the thumb of the sheriff of Nottingham, they owe him money. So they just run into the woods, and you've got this, I guess they're like a resistance crew.
Mm-hmm.
And when he takes over this crew, the first thing he does is start training them. So I think it's dope that, you got them fighting against essentially the Empire. That's what it feels like to me, man. It feels like the Battle of Endor with the Ewoks because they've got basic weapons and armaments, they're using their garden tools. There's some people, they got some bows and arrows and stuff, but against this Sheriff of Nottingham's forces, which is heavily armed, they've got knights, they got horses, they got swords, they got proper, this is a standing army, versus an army that just got formed. You know what I'm saying?
And for all intents and purposes, these are simple folks. They're not warriors. They're not fighters. You know what I'm saying? But with Robin Hood leading them and coaching them the way he is, he's instilling that courage in them to believe in themselves, like, hey man, anything's possible. You know what I'm saying? And not for nothing, ultimately he's leading by example. He's saying, man, I'm not asking nothing of any of y'all that I'm not willing to do myself tenfold.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's great in that regard, man. I also like the weaponry. Definitely get the arrows and stuff, which is right up with the times of swordplay. But then, we also get some siege weaponry, like in a later battle, like a catapulting, bombs and all kinds of craziness, man. But it definitely, fits in with what we were seeing in that time,
Absolutely. And, at the time when this film came out, it was a hit or miss. I mean, it pulled numbers. There were a lot of folks that liked it, but there were a lot of folks that were bagging on it. But you got a hit on your hands once they start bringing out action figures too. There was a whole Robinhood Prince of Thieves line of toys, and they were
probably worth some money.
I know. I wish I had a couple. I never got none, but they were dope. I mean, you could get a little catapult and get all your Sherwood Forest, warriors and things like that. So I mean, that also speaks volumes of how productive this film was at the time. You know what I mean? They're not going to make action figures if it just sucked.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they don't look like they're too popular. I guess certain things they do got a set that's like the treehouse area. Ooh. That looks pretty cool. But as far as individual figures, you can get a loose. It's probably gonna be way more in the package though. But these are like loose. Yeah. There we go. That's not bad, dude. So this is like you get the sheriff, you get made. You get the Sheriff, Azeem, and Robin Hood for $99 in the package. That's not bad, dude.
But see, you also got to factor in that these figures are probably also an acquired taste, just like this film. I mean, these figures are also competing with the Batman Returns line of figures and the '89 Batman figure. I mean, who's gonna want Robin Hood over Batman? You know what I mean? No shade to Robin Hood, but I mean, come on now.
They used to got some bids on some of this stuff, man. You might can swoop in and get it for a low. I'm seeing a lot of listings. We got the Sheriff, we got Robin Hood. They ready to go.
If I were to reach, I'd want the Sheriff. I mean, I would definitely pick the Sheriff figure over Robin Hood.
Probably, but I don't know. I think a lot of them would be dope too, or Azeem as well, man. Give me all the mains,
And if I could get my hands on a catapult, I wouldn't even keep it in the box. Anyone who come in the office, you want to stamp? Shoot it.
They got a Little John one and a Fire Tuck, so that's pretty cool, man. Yeah. There's a Little John action figure. he was one of my favorites too, man. He had a lot of heart.
Yeah, he did.
He was nuts, man.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Shit. Honestly, dude, I can't think of anything else, man. Like, but anything else you want to expand on?
Ultimately, I mean, I know at this point in 2022, we've seen a lot of different versions. You got the Russell Crowe one, you got the Jamie Foxx one. I still feel of all of those ones, minus the one that we spoke on earlier, the initial one that came out, the black and white one, this would be the one to see. You know what I mean?
So have you seen the other ones? The ones, the more recent ones. Like
I tried to watch the Russell Crowe one. I tapped out about halfway through, and I never got around to watching the Jamie Foxx one. Not saying I won't watch it.
I think that's streaming on something, dude. Yeah. But I don't know. Now that I've seen this, I'm kind of curious now. So maybe I might end up going through, looking at this stuff.
Right. But like I said, mainly the main thing about this one, watch this one, soak in the seriousness, the lighthearted seriousness, and then go watch Men in Tights, because it just makes that film that much more funny. That's that's the main thing that, you know, I appreciate about, you know, this film and Men in Tights, you know, as a parallel.
So the Jamie Foxx version is on Hulu right now. You want to check it out? That came out 2018, yo.
Oh,
Man, that was 4 years ago. Don't seem like it, man.
Right?
Wow, time flying, bro. Yeah, that's what's up, man. But yeah, I guess we can wrap this up, man. I don't know what we're gonna be doing next time. I haven't picked anything, but make sure you subscribe to the channel, man. And me and Bob will definitely be back with more classes of cinematics. And this is Monk. You can catch me at Monkey Blood on Twitter and Instagram. And yeah, follow this channel, man. We need that support. And you can follow me, you know, at my social medias, you know, talking stuff or talking crap.
Yes, definitely subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Don't be afraid to hit the dislike. If there's anything that you think that we could do different or, you know, better, drop us a comment. You know, we got thick skin on this side. So, you know, just the interaction will be received and given back to you. And this is Bobby Blockbuster. You can catch me on Instagram at Bobby Blockbuster 118.
Yeah, y'all better not hit that dislike button.
Yeah, nah, you know. Yeah, don't do that.